Premeditated homicide is the most serious charge tried in our criminal courts. You have heard a long and complex case, ladies and gentlemen, and it is now your duty to sit down, to try and separate the facts from the fancy. And instead, the life of another is at stake. If there is a reasonable doubt in your mind as to the guilt of the accused, then you must declare him not guilty. If, however, there is no reasonable doubt, then he must be found guilty. Whichever way you decide, the verdict must be unanimous. I urge you to deliberate honestly and thoughtfully. You are faced with great responsibility. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
The jury will retire.
He doesn't stand a chance.
Chewing gum? Gum? Gum?
No thanks.
You know something?
I know a lot of things. No, I'm an advertiser.
Well, you know, it's hot.
I'd have never known that if you hadn't told me. How about you?
I suppose not. I've kind of forgotten it.
Sorry, all I've done all day is sweat.
I bet you're not sweating like that kid that was on trial.
I think they at least air condition the place. I thought I almost dropped dead in court.
Fix the air conditioning? I deserve that. My taxes are high enough.
Well, this will be fast anyway.
Whew, it is hot.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're all here. If you need me, I'll be right outside the door. Just now.
Did he just lock that door?
Yes, he did.
What do they think we are, criminals?
Well, they locked us up for a little while.
And then they locked that kid up forever. That's okay by me.
I never knew they did that.
Of course they locked the door. What did you think?
I just didn't know. It never occurred to me.
Okay, can we all admit up front that it's hot and humid and our tempers are short?
Yeah, it's been a pretty hard week.
I feel just fine.
You know, I wonder what's going on down in the office. You know what it's like in advertising? After 6 days, my job could be gone. In fact, the whole office is probably a wreck without me.
Well, figured
They're not liking this.
your duty.
Hey, I don't object to doing my duty. I just mentioned that because of this case and this kid, I might not have a job by the time I get back.
Hey, ask her to hire you. She's rich. Look at that suit. Hey.
Is that custom tailor?
Yes, it is.
I have not known a tailor.
How's he do?
Not too well. You know, this friend of my uncle, that's the one who's a tailor, he was on a jury about 10 years ago, a case just about like this one.
So, what happened?
They let him off. Reasonable doubt. And you know, about 8 years later, they found out he actually done it anyway. A murderer was set loose on the street.
Did they get him?
They couldn't.
Why not?
Because you can't hold anyone in double jeopardy. Unless it's a hung jury, you can't be tried for the same crime twice.
Well, don't worry about that, because it's not going to happen here.
6 days. We should have been done in 2. Talk, talk, talk. Did you ever hear so much talk about nothing?
Well, I guess they're entitled.
Yeah, every punk gets a fair trial. That's the system. I guess you can't say anything against it.
how'd you like that business about the knife? Did you ever hear a phonier story?
Well, look, you gotta expect that. Look what you're dealing with here.
He bought a switchblade that night,
Yeah, and then he lost it.
a hole in his pocket.
A hole in his pocket.
What a way to kill his father. A knife in his chest?
Oh.
Look at the people we're talking about here. You know them.
Say, what's the matter? You got a cold or something?
Oh, it's a Lulu. The summer colds will just kill it.
Yeah, I had one last year, and I was on vacation too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take seats.
All right. Well, this better be fast because I have tickets to Jersey Boys tonight. You're the last person in the world who hasn't seen it.
You're gonna like it.
All right, Your Honor. Start the show.
How about sitting down? The lady by the window, how about sitting down?
Oh, sorry.
Hey, go figure. A kid kills his father, bang, just like that. You know what? It's the element. They let the kids run wild. Maybe it serves them right.
You know, there's no point in getting emotional about it. It's supposed to be about the evidence, not how you feel.
And we all agreed that it was hot.
Yeah, and that our tempers would get short.
That's if we disagree, but this is open and shut. Let's get going.
All right, so now you folks can handle this any way you want. I mean, I'm not going to make any rules. We can discuss it for a while if you like, and then vote, or we could just go ahead and vote right now. See where we stand.
Let's vote now. Who knows? Maybe we can all go home.
Yeah, let's see who's
Yeah,
where.
All right, let's vote now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's all right with me. Does anyone object? No. Okay.
That was easy.
Good. All those voting guilty, raise your hands. 9, 10, 11. All those voting not guilty.
Oh, you got it.
Hey, left field.
One, that's 11 guilty, 1 not guilty. Now we know where we stand.
Do you really believe he's not guilty?
I don't know.
On a 6 days, and she doesn't know.
In 6 days, I could learn calculus. This is A, B, and C.
I don't believe it is as simple as A, B, C.
Oh my God, I've never seen a guiltier man in my life.
What does a guilty man look like? I mean, he's not guilty until we say he is. Are we to vote on his face?
You know, you sat in that court and you heard the same things I did. The man's a dangerous killer. You can see it.
Tell me, where do you look to see that a man is a dangerous killer?
Oh, well.
No, I'd like to know. What are the facial characteristics of a killer? Maybe you know something that I don't know.
Look, what is it about the case exactly that makes you think the kid is innocent?
He's 19 years old.
That's old enough. He stabbed his own father 4 inches into the chest. An innocent little 19-year-old kid.
Okay, well, I agree with you that the kid is guilty. I think we should try to avoid emotionally colored remarks.
All right, they grouped it a dozen ways. You want me to list them?
No.
No, I don't think so.
I
I don't know what's going on. I don't believe this.
I don't know if I believe his story or not. Maybe I don't.
Well, then what did you vote not guilty for?
Look, there were 11 votes for guilty. It's not so easy for me to just raise my hand and send a boy off to die without talking about it first.
Who says it's easy for me?
Or me.
No one.
Well, he's just as guilty whether it's an easy vote or a hard vote.
Now, is there something wrong because I voted fast?
Not necessarily.
No, I think the kid's guilty. And you could talk for 100 years and you wouldn't change my mind.
I don't want to change your mind.
Oh, what are you thinking of?
Well, I just want to talk for a little while. Look, this kid has been kicked around his whole life. Raised in a slum. His mother dead since he was 9? 9? This is not a good head start. He is a tough, angry kid. And you know why some kids get that way? Because we knock them over the head once a day, every day. I just think we owe him a few words, that's all.
Okay, hard. Yeah, it was hard for me. I had to fight. You know, I fought for everything that college. And that was a long time ago, and you forget. But, I fought, yes, but I never killed.
Yeah, I know what it's like. I never killed nobody.
Kicked around? Yeah, I've been kicked around too. Wait till you work in an advertising agency and that mogul that buys all the media ads gets in your face. We all know.
Yeah.
In my country, in Europe, kicking was a science. Let's try to find something better than that.
Lady, I don't mind telling you this. We don't owe that kid a thing. He got a fair trial, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know what that trial cost? He's lucky he got it.
Yep.
And you know what, the other thing? We're all adults here. You're not going to tell us that we have to believe him. Knowing where that kid came from, knowing the type of person he is, knowing all that, I've lived among these people my whole life. They don't know what the truth is. They lie.
I don't know that. What a terrible thing for a man to believe. Since when has dishonesty been a group characteristic? You have no monopoly
All
on
right.
the truth.
It's not Sunday. We don't need a sermon.
What that man said, it was very, very dangerous.
Okay, I don't see why we have to argue like this. Okay, I don't see why we can't behave like ladies and gentlemen in here.
Right.
If you insist.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, if we're going to discuss the case, then let's discuss the facts.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think we have a job to do, let's do it.
If you ladies and gentlemen don't mind, I'm going to close the window.
What?
It's blowing on the back of my neck.
Oh my God. Well, if you don't mind, I'd like it open.
But it was blowing on me.
Don't you want some air in here? It's summertime, it's hot.
I was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, there are 12 of us in this room, and it's the only window, if you don't mind.
I have some rights too.
So do the rest of us.
Okay, maybe you could switch seats with someone on the other side of the table?
All right. I will open the window if someone will trade.
You can take my seat.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Shall we get back to the case?
Yeah, let's.
Guys, listen up. Just, I'm brainstorming here, I'm thinking out loud. Appears to me there's 11 of us here that need to convince this woman that we're right and she's wrong. Why don't we each go around the table and talk about it for a minute or two, try it on for size.
Good.
That sounds fair enough.
Very fair.
So we'll go around, once around, everybody talk.
Good, let's start it off.
Okay, we'll start with you.
Well, I just think he's guilty. It was obvious.
In what way is it obvious?
Nobody proved otherwise.
Well, nobody has to prove otherwise, that he's innocent until proven guilty. The burden of proof is on the prosecution, right? The defendant doesn't even have to open his mouth if he doesn't want to. That's in the Constitution, right? It's the Fifth Amendment. You've heard of it.
Everyone has.
Yeah, well, sure, of course I've heard of it. I know what it means, but I just think he's guilty.
Just guilty, no reasons? A man's life is at stake.
Okay, let's get to the facts here. Number one, there's the old man who lived on the second floor, right underneath the room where the murder took place. At 10 minutes after 12, on the night of the killing, he heard loud noises coming from the upstairs apartment. He said it sounded like a fight. Then he heard the kid say to his father, "I'm going to kill you." A second later, he hears a body falling. So he runs to the door, looks out, and sees the kid running down the stairs and out of the building. He calls the cops. They find the father with a knife sticking out of his chest.
And the coroner fixed the time of death at right about midnight.
Now, what more do you want?
Something doesn't quite fit.
His entire story is flimsy. I mean, he says he went to the movies, but that's a little ridiculous, isn't it? He doesn't even remember what he saw.
That's right. Do you hear that? You're absolutely right.
He didn't have any ticket stub. Yeah, but who keeps a ticket stub from the movie?
Well, that's true enough.
I suppose, but the cashier didn't remember them.
And the ticket taker didn't either.
Hey, how about that, the lady across the street? If her testimony don't prove it, nothing.
Oh,
That's right, she saw the killing, didn't she?
Well, let's go in order.
Hey, no, wait.
No,
She couldn't sleep, right? It's hot. And in the middle of the night, she wakes up, she looks out the window across the tracks, and she sees the kid stick the knife right into his father.
How could she be sure it was the kid she saw when she saw it through the windows of a passing elevated train?
Oh, she's known the kid his whole life. She lives across the tracks from him. The windows are right across the street. Plus, she swore she saw him do it.
I heard her swear it.
Yeah, right. They proved it in court that you can look across the L train at night through the windows and see what's going on the other side. They proved it.
Weren't you just telling us a minute or two ago that you can't trust them? That you can't believe a word they say? Well, so let me ask you this question. Why are you willing to believe her? She's one of them, isn't she?
Oh, so you're a priest.
Better get to you. Just go sit down.
They did take us out to the woman's rooms so that we could look through the windows of the passing L train, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
And weren't you able to see what happened on the other side?
I wasn't able to see as well as they told me I would, but yes, I was able to see what happened on the other side.
You see? Do you see?
Hey, let's calm down now. Wait, it's your turn. I'll pass it.
Well, that's your privilege. How about you?
Oh, I don't know. I started to be convinced, with the testimony of those people across the hall. Didn't they say something about an argument between the father and the boy around 7 o'clock that night? I could be wrong.
I think it was 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that's right, it was 8 o'clock.
Yeah, they said they heard the father hit the boy twice and then saw the boy walk angrily out of the house.
Right.
And what does that prove?
It doesn't prove anything exactly. It's just part of the picture. I didn't say it proved anything.
Anything else?
No.
Well, I don't know. I think it's pretty much all been said already. We could talk all day about this thing, but I think we're wasting our time.
I don't.
Neither do I. Go on.
Well, look at the kid's record. He stole a car. He was arrested for mugging. I think they said he stabbed somebody in the arm.
They did.
He was picked up for knife fighting. At 15 years old, he's in reform school.
And he was sent to reform school for stabbing someone.
Oh yeah, this is a really fine boy.
Yeah.
Ever since he was 5 years old, his father beat him up on a regular basis. He used his fists.
Yeah, well, so would I on a kid like that. Whoa, if I was father.
You're right. It's the kids. The way they are, they don't listen. I've got a kid, he was 8 years old. He ran away from a fight. I saw it. I was so ashamed. And I told him right out, I said, I'm going to make a man out of you, or I'm going to bust you up in a little pieces trying. Oh, and he's 15 years old. He hit me in the face. He's big, I haven't seen him in 3 years. Rotten kid. I hate tough kids. You work your heart out. All right, get up.
Okay, we're missing a point here. This boy. Okay, let's say he does come from a broken home in a filthy neighborhood. We can't help that.
That's right.
We are here to discuss the reasons why slums are building grounds for criminals. They are. I know it. You know it. Kids who come out of slum backgrounds are potential menaces to society.
You know what you're talking about. I don't want any part of them, believe me.
I've lived in a slum all my life.
Oh, wait a minute.
I used to play in a backyard filled with garbage. It used to smell funny.
Oh, let's be reasonable. There's nothing personal about
something personal.
Come on, lady, he don't mean you. Stop being so sensitive.
Who did you mean?
I understand the sensitivity.
All right, let's stop the bickering.
We're wasting time.
Yeah, it's your turn.
All right. Well, I've had a peculiar feeling about this case. It seems to me that the defense counsel never really conducted a thorough cross-examination. So many questions were unasked.
Yeah, well, it doesn't change my opinion about the guilt of the kid. I have to agree with you. The defense counsel was bad.
So,
So this is a point.
what about facts?
So many questions were unanswered.
What about the questions that were answered? For instance, let's talk about that switchblade, that fine, upright boy admitted fine.
All right, let's talk about it. In fact, let's get it in here and look at it again. Madam Foreman, I'd like to see the knife, please.
We don't need to see it again. I know what it looks like. What do you think?
Well, the woman has a right to see exhibits and evidence.
Okay, by me.
I mean, you do agree this knife is a pretty strong piece of evidence?
I do.
Yeah. Okay, well then, let's discuss the facts as they relate to the knife.
The boy admits to leaving the house at 8 o'clock after being slapped by his father.
Or punch. Or punch. He then went to a neighborhood store where he bought the knife. The storekeeper was arrested the next day for selling it to him after admitting selling it to him.
I think everybody agrees it was a pretty unusual knife. It's hard to forget something like that.
Okay. The storekeeper identified the knife and said it was the only one of its kind that he had in stock. Why did he buy it?
Yeah. Oh, as a present for a friend of his.
Am I right so far?
Yes, you're right.
You bet she's right. She's absolutely right. Now listen to this woman.
Next, the kid says that the knife must have fallen through a hole in his coat pocket and he never saw it again. Now there's a story, ladies and gentlemen. We all know what really happened. He took the knife home and a few hours later he used it to stab his father in the chest. And even remembered to wipe the fingerprints off when he was done. Everyone connected with this case identified this knife. Are you trying to tell us that someone picked up the knife, took it to the boy's house, and used it to stab his father just to be amusing?
No, I'm saying it's possible that the boy lost the knife and that somebody else stabbed the father with a similar knife. It's possible.
Take a look at that knife. That is a very strange knife. I have never seen one like it before in my life, and neither the storekeeper who sold it to him.
Right.
Aren't you trying to make us accept a pretty incredible coincidence?
I'm not trying to make anyone accept anything. I'm just saying it's possible.
I'm saying it's not possible.
What?
Wait.
Whoa, what do you think you're doing there?
Wait a minute, who do you think you are?
Hey, look at it, it's the same knife.
All right, quiet, let's be quiet.
Where did you get it?
I bought it at a little junk shop just around the corner from the boy's house. It cost $12.
Now listen to me.
Yeah, I'm listening.
You pulled a pretty smart little trick here, but it proves absolutely zero. What if there are 10 liars like that? So what?
Maybe there are.
The kid lied and you know it.
And maybe he didn't lie. Maybe he did lose the knife.
Yeah.
Maybe he did go to the movies. And maybe the reason the cashier didn't recognize him was because he sneaked in and was ashamed to admit it, right? I mean, who here didn't sneak into a movie once or twice when they were young?
I didn't.
Really? Not even once?
We didn't have movies.
Maybe he went to the movies. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he did lie. Do you think he lied?
That's a stupid question. Yes, of course he lied.
What about you?
You don't have to ask me that question. You know my answer. He lied.
You think he lied?
I don't know.
Wait a minute. What are you, a lawyer?
found guilty as sure as he's born.
Yes.
You're probably right.
Huh? So what are you gonna do about it? We could be here all night.
It's only one night. A man might die.
Oh, that's right.
Come on.
I think we ought to get on with it.
Yeah, let's get going here.
How do you like this one, huh?
Well, what do you say? You're the one holding up the show.
I mean, obviously, you don't think the boy is guilty.
There is a doubt in my mind.
How? I don't see how you can doubt. There's the old man downstairs. He heard the boy shriek it.
The woman across the object, she saw him stab him.
And we know he bought the knife that night, and we don't really know where he was.
And earlier in the evening, the boy and his father did have a fight.
And while he's been a violent kid all along, and while that doesn't actually prove anything, still.
Yeah, but the
All right,
other
I'll have a final decision. Look, I want to call for another vote. I want you 11 people to vote a secret ballot, and I will abstain. And if there are still 11 votes for guilty, I won't stand in your way. We can deliver a guilty verdict right now.
That sounds fair enough. Does everyone agree?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. That was pretty easy.
Guilty. 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 Guilty.
That's 6.
All right, please, that's 6 guilty. 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 No.
What? How do you like that?
All right, who was it? I think we have a right to know.
Come on, tell us, what idiot changed his vote?
Now, is that the way to talk about a man's life?
Whose life are you talking about? The life of the dead guy or the life of the murderer?
I want to know. Who?
So do I.
Excuse me, this was a secret ballot.
You know, nobody looked while we did it, but now we want to know.
A secret ballot. We agreed on this point, no? If the person wants it to remain a secret.
There are no secrets in here. I know who did it. What's the matter with you? You come in here and you vote guilty. And then this slick preacher starts tearing your heart out with stories about a poor little kid who just couldn't help becoming a murderer. So you change your vote. That is the most sickening thing.
Oh, I agree with you, the kid is guilty, but let's be fair.
Hold this, be fair. That's what I'm talking about. We're trying to put a guilty man in the chair where he belongs. And all listen, we're paying attention to fairy tales over here.
Just a minute.
Now you listen to me.
Hey, let's try to keep this thing organized.
Okay, well, it's not organized, but let's try to be civilized.
Please, I would like to say something here. I have always thought that a person in this country was entitled to have unpopular opinions. This is the reason I came here. I wanted to have the right to disagree.
Do you disagree?
Usually I would. In this case, I agree with you. But the point I wish to make is that in my country, I was
Oh, come on. What do we got to listen to the whole history of your country?
It's always wise to bear in mind what goes on in other countries where people are allowed to disagree. Well, we are.
Right.
So let's stick to the subject.
Yeah, let's stick to the subject. I want to ask you, what made you change your vote?
Come on, you haven't told us yet. We have a right to know.
Why do you think I changed my vote? Because I do.
There is nothing for her to tell you.
What?
She didn't change her vote. I did.
Oh.
I was going to tell you, but you were so sure of yourself.
Sorry.
Perhaps-
Okay now.
Like me to
So
tell you
let me
why?
tell you why this
Whoa,
guy...
whoa, whoa, whoa! The woman wants to talk.
Oh, thank you. This woman chose not to stand alone against us. Now that is her right. Oh, and it takes great courage to stand alone, even if you believe in something very strongly. She left the verdict up to us. She gambled on our support, and I gave it to her. I want to hear more. The vote is 10-2.
Okay, if this story is over, can we move on, please?
You know, if there's anything in the kids' favor, I'd vote not guilty.
I don't see what it is.
Ugh, neither do I. They're grasping at straws.
As guilty as they get. That's the kid, I suppose.
And it's just that one juror holding out. And she's got to come around eventually. I mean, she's basically a very reasonable woman.
Yeah, I guess so.
They really haven't come up with one fact to back up a not guilty verdict.
It's pretty high, you know.
Well, yes it is. And what does guilty beyond a reasonable doubt really mean anyway?
What is the reasonable doubt?
Exactly. I mean, when a life is at stake, what is a reasonable doubt? I mean, you have to draw the line somewhere. You have to have law and order. Otherwise, everyone will be knifing people.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, well, there's two that do doubt. And I wonder why. I really wonder why.
Well, you know, you hear stories about innocent people who've gone to jail and to death sometimes, and then later on things turn out.
Yeah, but then on the other hand, you hear about killers who are let loose and they do it again. You know, they get out on some little technicality and they kill again.
Hey, look, now that we've cooled off a little bit, I got a little excited before, and you know how it is. I didn't mean to get nasty, nothing personal.
Okay. Listen, let me ask you this. If the kid didn't kill him, who did?
As far as I know, we're here to determine whether or not the boy on trial is guilty. We're not concerned with anybody else's motives.
Yeah, I suppose, but who else had a motive?
I don't know. The old man was along in years, maybe an old grudge.
Remember, it is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, that is very important.
You know, everybody's a lawyer all of a sudden. Why don't you tell us what your reasonable doubts are?
Well, this is very hard. So far, it's just a feeling that I have.
Oh, crazy.
A feeling. Huh. Perhaps you wouldn't understand that.
No, I don't.
A feeling? What are we gonna listen to your feelings all night? What about the facts?
You said a mouth right. Look, lady, the old man heard the kid say, "I'm going to kill you." A second later, he heard the body falling, and then he saw the kid running out of the building 15 seconds after that.
And where's the reasonable doubt in that?
That's right. Let's not forget the woman across the street. She looked across through the open window and saw the boy stab his father. Crystal clear. She saw it.
Now, if that's not enough for you...
It's not enough for me.
Oh, man.
Well, what is enough for you? I'd like to know.
How do you like this woman? It is like talking into the dead phone.
The woman saw the killing through the windows of a passing L train. The train had 5 cars. She saw the killing through the last 2 cars. I mean, she remembers the most insignificant details.
Well, what do you have to say about that?
I don't know, something doesn't fit.
Well, why don't you just think about it for a while? Hey, pass me your pencil. Maybe we can play a little tic-tac-toe and pass the time.
This is not a game.
Oh, wait a minute.
This is a man's life.
Who the fuck do you think you are? Hey, I ought to walk around this table and slap her one.
Oh, wait!
Did you see her? The nerve, the absolute nerve.
Hey, take it easy, man. It don't mean nothing. Just relax.
How about sitting down?
This isn't a game. Who does she think she is?
I believe we were talking talking about elevated trains. Yes, we were.
So,
All right. How long would you say it takes an elevated train going at top speed to pass a given point?
what does that have to do with anything?
Well, just how long do you think it would take? Guess.
I wouldn't have the slightest idea.
Neither would I.
I don't think they mentioned it.
What about you?
About 10, 12 seconds maybe.
That seems like a fair guess. Anyone else have a thought?
I would think about 10 seconds perhaps.
Yeah, come on, 10 seconds.
Okay, we're all agreed about 10 seconds. What are you getting at?
An elevated train takes 10 seconds to pass a given point. In this case, the given point is the window of the room in which the killing took place, okay? From that window, you can practically reach out and touch the train, right?
Yes, I tried it.
So,
Has anybody here ever lived near the L tracks?
I live close to
Yeah.
them.
They make a lot of noise, don't
Yeah.
they? I have lived right by the L tracks, and I'll tell you, when your window is open and the train goes by, the noise is almost unbearable. I mean, you cannot hear yourself think.
Okay, if you can't hear yourself think, get to the point.
The old man downstairs heard the boy say, I'm
He
going to
didn't
kill...
say it, he screamed it.
Okay, the old man downstairs heard the boy scream, I'm going to kill you. And then 1 second later, he heard the body fall, right? 1 second, that was the testimony.
Yes.
Right.
The woman across the street looked through the last 2 cars of the passing L train and saw the body fall, right?
right.
The last 2 cars.
So-
The last 2 cars.
What are you giving us here?
This. An L train takes 10 seconds to pass a given point, or 2 seconds per car. That means that the L train had already been going by for at least 6 seconds, maybe more, before the body fell, according to the woman. Right? So the man would have had to hear the voice say, I'm going to kill you, while the front of the train was roaring past his nose. There is no way he could have heard it.
What do you mean? Sure he could have heard it.
What, with an L train going by?
The boy yelled it out.
Those trains make a lot of noise.
Well, it's enough for me.
It's enough for me, too.
I don't think he could have heard it.
Maybe the old man didn't hear it. I mean, will the L...
What do you mean? Are you calling the old man a liar? I don't know. Well, look, I think you guys are crazy. He has no motive for lying at all. I don't know why you're saying this.
Well, attention maybe?
Lady, you keep coming up with these bright sayings. Why don't you post them on Facebook and see how many likes you get?
Now, what does that have to do with a man's life? Why might a man have lied? You have a right to be heard.
Well, it's just that I looked at him for a very long time. There was a tear in the arm of his jacket. Did you notice that?
No.
This was an old man with a torn jacket carrying 2 canes. Oh, I think I know him better than anyone here. This is an old, quiet, frightened, insignificant man who's never been anything in his life. He's never had any notice, his name in the newspapers. Nobody knows him after 75 years. Oh, it's a very sad thing. Now, a man like that, he needs to be questioned. He needs to be listened to and quoted just once. Oh, this is very, very important.
And you're trying to tell us the old man would lie about a thing like that just to be important?
No, he wouldn't really lie. But perhaps he would make himself believe that he heard those words and recognized that boy's face.
Well, That's the most fantastic story I've ever heard. How do you make this stuff up?
I did not make it up.
You must have made it up. People don't lie about stuff like that.
Made himself believe that he told the truth.
What do you know about it?
I speak from experience.
What?
I am the same person. I think we all understand now. Thank you.
All right. If you want to admit you're a liar, that's all
No,
right.
that's too much.
She's a liar. She just
She
admitted it.
did not admit
You
it.
just admit you're a
She
liar.
was explaining why the man might
A
lie. There's
liar is a liar.
difference.
That's all there is to it.
Hey, we have a job to do and a duty here.
I believe they've covered it.
Yeah, I hope we have.
All right, is there anything else?
Cough drop?
No. Come on now, let's get on with it.
Right, let's get going
Thank
here.
you. There is one other point I'd like to bring up. I think we've proven that the old man could not have heard the boy say, "I'm going to kill you."
Well, I disagree.
Let's hear her out anyway.
All right. Supposing he did hear him say this, right? This expression, I mean, how many times has each of us said it? If you do that one more time, Junior, I'm going to murder you. Or go, Rocky, kill him, right? I mean, we say it every day. It doesn't mean we're actually going to kill anyone.
Don't the circumstances alter that somewhat?
That's right. The old man was murdered.
Hey, one more thing. The phrase was, "I'm going to kill you," and he screamed it at the top of his lungs.
Yeah, that's the way I understand it.
Yeah, don't tell me he didn't mean it. When somebody says a thing like that, the way he said it, they mean it.
And how they mean it.
Do you really think that the boy would shout out a thing like that for the whole neighborhood to hear it? He's too bright for that.
Right? He's a common ignorant slob. He don't even speak good English.
He doesn't even speak good English.
Well, the boy is bright enough.
I'd like to change my vote to not guilty.
What?
Here we go.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am.
So the vote is 9-3 in favor of guilty.
I'd like to know why you changed your vote.
I think there's a doubt.
Where? What is the doubt?
Well, there's the knife.
Oh, fine.
She has got you believing in fairy tales.
Go on, give your reasons.
And the old man, too. Maybe he didn't lie, but just maybe he did. Maybe the old man just doesn't like the kid.
Oh, but that isn't the end.
I believe there's a reasonable doubt.
Well, what are you basing it on? Stories that this woman made up. God, she ought to write for Law and Order. You know, she'd make a fortune. Look, the kid had a lawyer, didn't he? Why didn't his lawyer bring up all these questions?
Well, lawyers can't think of everything.
Brother, you sit in here and you pull stories out of thin air, and now we're supposed to believe that the old man didn't get out of bed and run to the door, and just in time to see the kid beat it downstairs 15 seconds after the killing.
That is the testimony, I believe.
And the old man swore to this. Yes, he swore to it just so he could be pardoned.
Did the old man say he ran to the door?
Man, what? What's the difference? He got there.
Well, I don't remember exactly what he said, but I don't see how he could run.
He said he went. I remember now. He went from his bedroom to the front door. That's enough, isn't it?
Where was the bedroom again?
Down the hall somewhere.
Down the hall. Are we to send a boy off to die because it's down the hall somewhere?
I thought you remembered everything. You don't remember that?
No, I don't.
And I don't either.
Madam Foreman, I'd like to see a diagram of the apartment again.
Why don't we just have them run the whole trial over? So you can get everything straight.
Madam Foreman?
I heard it.
Well, you know, what's this one for? And how come you're the only one in this whole room that keeps asking to see exhibits?
Oh, I want to see this one too.
So do I.
And I want to stop wasting time.
Are we going to wade through all that nonsense about where the body was found?
No. We are going to figure out how walks with a pair of canes could make it from his bed to the front door in 15 seconds.
He said 20 seconds.
He said 15.
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
You know, how does he know about 15 seconds? You can't judge a thing like that.
He said 15 seconds and he was really very positive about it.
He's an old man. He was confused half the time. You saw that. How can he be certain about anything?
Well, that's
Except, you know, the things that we, you know.
Yeah, no, maybe you know, but I don't know.
What you want?
Yeah, that's it. Great. You wanted this?
Yes, please.
Thanks.
My
Now, do me a favor, will you, and just wake me when it's over.
Oh, God, I've been looking at that chart for 2 hours. Enough is enough.
Okay, some of us are interested. Go ahead.
This is a diagram of the apartment in which the killing took place, but the old man's apartment is identical directly beneath it. Here are the L tracks. Here's the man's bedroom. There's another bedroom. The hallway here, a living room, bathroom, kitchen. Here's the front door of the apartment and the stairway there. Now, the man was in bed here. He said he got up, went out to the hallway, walked down the hallway, and opened the front door just in time to see the boy running down the stairs, right?
Right, that's the story.
That's what happened.
The man's bed was by the window. It's 12 feet across the bedroom to the bedroom door. And it's 43 feet, 6 inches along the hallway. So the man would have to get up out of bed, walk 12 feet, get his canes and walk 12 feet, right? Open the bedroom door, walk 43 feet, open the front door, all in 15 seconds. Do you think that's possible?
I don't see why not.
You know it's possible.
You know, he would have been in a hurry. He heard the boy scream.
He can only walk very slowly. They had to help him into the witness chair.
You make it seem like a long walk. It's not that far.
For an old man with 2 canes, it is a long walk.
What do you think you're doing?
8. I want to try this. I want to see how long it took him. I'm pacing off 12 feet for the bedroom.
You're crazy. You can't recreate a thing like that.
Perhaps if we could see it, this is an important point.
It's a ridiculous waste of time.
Let him do it.
I don't see any harm in it. Foolish, but go ahead.
All right. Can I have Janet?
Oh, sure.
That's here. Okay. This is the bedroom door. How far would you say it is from here to that corner?
I would say that's about 20 feet.
Just about.
Okay, so from here to the corner and back is 40 feet, which is just a little bit shorter than the distance the man had to walk along the hallway, right?
A few feet, maybe.
This is insane. Who says you can do this?
We can't stop her.
Do you mind if I try it? I mean, according to you, it'll only take 15 seconds. We can spare that. Okay, who has a watch with a second hand?
I do.
Okay. Stomp your foot when you want me to start. That'll be the body fall.
Okay, I'll time you from there.
Okay. We assume that the man keeps his canes right by the bed?
Right.
Okay. All right. I'm
I'm
ready.
I'm just waiting for the hand to come to 60.
Taking longer.
Canes.
Come on, speed it up. He went twice as fast as that.
This is, I think, even more quickly than the old man walked in the courtroom.
No, it isn't.
Well, if you want me to speed up, I will.
Speed it up a little.
Stop.
Yeah.
What's the time?
It's 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 39 seconds.
That's not right.
Now that's interesting.
Hey, well, you know,
What do you think of that?
39 seconds. 39.
And the young man swore on his oath it was only 15.
She may have been a little bit off on the speed that the old cripple moved at, but 24 seconds off.
Yeah.
Well, now you know.
Far be it for me to call anyone a liar, but even taking into account the difference in speed between you and the old man, there's still
quite a discrepancy.
I think the old man was making his way to the door and heard somebody running down the stairs and assumed it was the boy.
I think that's possible.
Yeah.
Assume! Now listen to me, you people. I've seen all kinds of dishonesty in my day. This little display takes the cake.
What dishonesty?
Tell her! You come in here with your heart bleeding all over the floor about slum kids and injustice, and you make up these wild stories and you got a few soft-hearted pansies listening to you. Well, I'm not. I get pretty sick of you. All right, he's off. What's the matter with you people? Come on. This kid is guilty. He's got to burn. We're letting him slip through our fingers.
Wait, our fingers? Are you his executioner?
I'm one of them.
Huh. Maybe you'd like to pull the switch yourself.
For this kid, you bet I will.
Well, I'm sorry for you.
Hey, don't stop
What
me.
it must feel like to want to pull the switch yourself.
Oh, shut up.
You're a sadist.
Shut up.
You want to see this boy die for your own reasons, not because of the facts. God, you're a beast. You disgust me.
Shut up! Let me go. I'll kill her. I'll kill her.
You don't really mean that you'll kill me, do you?
Easy, easy.
Something wrong, gentlemen, ladies? Anything I heard a noise?
No, everything's, okay. You can take that one, we're finished with it.
What are you looking at?
I don't see why we have to behave like children in here.
Nor do I. We have a responsibility. This is a remarkable thing about democracy. We are notified. We are notified by mail to come down to this place to decide on the guilt or innocence of a man. A man we have not known before. We have nothing to gain or lose by our verdict. This is one of the things that makes us strong. We should not make this a personal thing.
Thank you very much.
Why do you thank me?
Well, we forget, and it's good to be reminded.
Glad we're going to be civilized about this.
Yeah, well, we're still nowhere.
Well, we're somewhere. Or we're getting there, maybe.
Maybe.
Who's got an idea? How about you?
I think maybe we should take another vote. Madam Foreman?
Okay, for me, anybody doesn't want to vote?
Now let's vote.
I don't want an open ballot. Let's call out our votes. I want to know who stands
All
where.
right, that sounds fair. Anyone object? All right, I'll call out your jury numbers. I vote guilty. 2,
Not guilty.
3,
Guilty.
4,
Guilty.
5,
Not guilty.
6,
Not guilty.
7,
Guilty.
8,
Not guilty.
9,
Not guilty.
10,
Guilty.
11,
Not guilty.
12,
Yeah, guilty.
6 to 6.
I'll tell you what, the crime is being committed right here in this room.
The vote is 6 to 6.
I'm ready to walk right back in that court and declare a hung jury. There's no point in going on with this anymore.
I want to know why you changed your vote. And why you changed yours and you yours. There's still 6 of us here who think we may be letting a murderer loose on the streets.
Yeah, right.
Emotion won't do. Why?
I don't think it's likely that the old man saw the boy run down the stairs. I don't believe that the old man heard someone scream, "I'm going to kill you." Old men dream. And if the old man did hear the boy scream, "I'm going to kill," then we have the opinion of this man to prove that maybe he didn't really mean he was going to kill.
Look, let's just take it into the judge right now and let the kid take his chances with 12 other people.
6 to 6, I don't think we're ever going to agree on anything.
It has to be unanimous, and we're never going to convince her.
I'll tell you what, maybe we are a hung jury.
We are not going to be a hung jury.
But we are right now, a perfect balance. Let's take it into the judge.
If there is a reasonable doubt, I don't see it.
Well, I have doubt in my mind.
Maybe we should vote.
What do you mean vote?
Oh, wait, what?
Not again.
Vote on what?
Are we or aren't we a hung jury?
You mean we vote yes, we are a hung jury, or no, we're not a hung jury?
Yeah, that's just what I was thinking.
We can't agree on whether or not the window should be open.
Well, let's make it a majority vote. The majority wins.
You mean if 7 or more of us vote that yes, we are a hung jury, then we bring that into the judge that we're a hung jury?
Right, or if 7 or more of us go, no, we aren't the hung jury, we go on discussing it.
That doesn't seem quite right to me now.
What's the only solution?
I agree, it's the only way.
Anything to end this.
All right, so are we all agreed that 7 or more yes votes and we take it into the judge?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I say yes, we are a hung jury. 2,
No.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
5,
No.
6,
No.
7,
Yes.
8,
No.
9,
No.
10,
Yes.
11,
No.
12.
Yes.
It's 6 to 6.
We can't even get a majority to decide if we're a hung jury or not.
Okay, I went along with the majority rule on this question, even though I didn't believe in voting that way at the time, and I still do. So I'm going to change my vote to no, we're not a hung jury. I still believe that this boy is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and I want to hear some more from people who change their votes.
So then we aren't a hung jury, so we go on discussing.
Good. Go on.
Why did you change your vote?
Well, you know, she makes a lot of sense, and she makes some really good points, right? Whereas Mr. Donald Trump here, he just yells and insults everybody.
Okay, but does the yelling and insult change the guilt of the kid?
Yeah.
He did do it. Are you going to let a murderer loose on the streets just because one juror gets upset because he thinks we're letting a murderer loose?
That's true.
But there is a doubt.
I don't think there is. The track is straight in front of the window. Let's start with that point. So the train would make a low, rumbling noise. L trains only screech when they go around curves.
Right?
So the old man would have been able to hear the boy scream because it's high-pitched. And it is a tenement which has thin walls.
Good, good. That's it. That's it.
Okay, and what if the man was wrong about the time it took, but right about whom he saw? Okay, please remember, there were no fingerprints found on the weapon, and it is summer, so gloves seem unlikely.
Now, I want you to listen to this woman. She's making sense here.
And it may have taken a second or two for the murderer to take out a handkerchief and wipe off the fingerprints.
Now, that is a point.
Yes, that's right.
So, I think what I'm saying.
Wait, no, why don't we time this one out to see?
Wait, just what are we timing?
Yeah, let's be precise.
Okay, I am saying that the old man may have been wrong about the time it took to get to the stairs, but that he was right about whom he saw when he got there. Okay, it may have taken the murderer 39 seconds to wipe off the fingerprints and get down to the point on the stairs where the old man saw him, the kid that is.
This is right.
Look, we reconstructed the old man getting out of bed and going to the door, and we timed it. Now, let's reconstruct and time the actual crime.
Well as we can reconstruct it.
Yeah, because I think a murderer could use up 30 or 40 seconds pretty easily at this point.
Let's reconstruct the killing.
Yeah.
Let's.
Here, why don't you do this, Dad?
No, I don't.
Hey, you mind being the person who gets stabbed? I'm sorry, I got a backpack. Hey, and don't forget, take a second to fall.
Right, and he was found on his side, on his right side. So
Yes.
fall and then roll onto your right side. Someone must hate another person a great deal to murder them. So don't you think it would be reasonable to assume that he'd look at his victim for a second or two?
That's right. She's right. Be open about this. Divorce yourself from this particular case. That would just be human nature.
Yeah, I think that seems reasonable.
Hey, wait a minute. He falls and he lands on his right side, the father did. But, you know, stabbing somebody isn't like shooting them, even if it's right in the heart. He would have worked around for a few seconds, you know, lying there on the floor, writhing maybe.
Yeah, that's quite possible. He would have had enough oxygen in his system to keep him going for a second or two, I should think.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the father have cried out?
Maybe the kid held his mouth.
Oh.
Well, that's also possible.
And here's another thing to consider. A person who's mentally sound enough to remember to wipe the fingerprints off a knife, well, that person is also mentally sound enough to look around the room or, you know, to see if there are any other clues that he may have left behind.
Oh, this gets better and better.
Okay, we're trying to make things clear. One doesn't talk about quality where murder is involved. All right, let's do this.
About this on the fingerprints. Now, the boy wiped them off the knife, but what about the doorknobs? I mean, if I saw a man coming into my house, a man who hated me, and he was wiping the doorknobs before they cleaned out. So I think that the doorknobs were wiped after the murder, which too would take some time.
Well, you timed the last one. Why don't you time this one too?
Oh, all right, okay.
Yeah. Okay, stamp your foot when you want to start.
I have to wait for the hand to come to 60.
I'm going to kill you! You do both doorknobs.
Oh, yeah.
And stop.
Right, that's 15, 20, 25, 29 and a half seconds exactly.
And whoever killed the old man, and I think it was the kid, still had to run down the hall and down the stairs, at least one flight of stairs.
You see? You see?
So, given what we've discovered here, then it's very likely that the old man may have been wrong about the time, but that he did see the kid running downstairs.
Yeah.
So now both time sequences check. The one you did, and the one we just confirmed right here, with running down the stairs and everything, they both check and match.
It's sure he was an old man who wanted attention. She may have been right about that, but you know, he was just like everybody else. A life was at stake.
So, The old man's story may well be true.
Except that he absolutely swore under oath that it was only 15 seconds.
And we all think it's between 25 and 40 seconds later.
So now you're saying that the man lied in part and told the truth in part. Right? I mean, I agree that this tends to confirm the story of the old man, but now he is a proven liar by your own admission.
Yeah, the old man lies in part, that might be true, but I think I'm going to change my vote. I think the kid is guilty.
Hey, what about you? What do you think now?
Oh, I'm not too sure. I want to talk some more. Right? At first I thought he was guilty, then I changed. Now I'm kind of swinging back toward guilty.
Oh, yeah. What about you?
No, I am now in real doubt.
I vote guilty. I was right.
Yeah. Now we're trying to think. We're making sense in here.
Okay, so it seems to be about 9 for guilty and 3 for not guilty.
All right, I have one more question about the old man downstairs. How many of you live in apartment buildings?
I don't know what you're thinking. I know what I'm thinking. I don't live in a tenement, but it's as close. And there's just enough light in the hallways to see the steps. No more. The light bulbs are so small. And this murder took place in a tenement. Remember how we stumbled on the stairs?
Yeah, and the policeman had to use flashlights. Remember that?
An old man who misjudged the time by 20 seconds. We all agreed on that. This old man looked down the darkened hallway of the tenement and recognized a running figure?
Yeah, he was 100% wrong about the time. It took twice as long as he thought.
Then could not the old man be 100% wrong about who he saw?
That's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard of. You're making that up out of thin air.
We're a hung jury. Let's just be honest about it.
Do you really feel there is no room for reasonable doubt?
Yes, I do.
I beg your pardon, but perhaps you do not understand the term reasonable doubt.
If you mean I don't understand it, do you think you are to talk to me like that? God, how do you like this guy? He comes over here running for his life. He's hardly here enough time to take a big breath, and he's telling us how to run this show? The arrogance of him.
Okay, no one here is asking where anyone is from,
Well, I was born right here.
or where your parents are from.
You know, maybe it would serve us well to take a lesson from people who come running here. Maybe they know something that we don't know. We're not so perfect.
Please, I'm used to this. It's all right. Thank you.
No, it is not all right.
Okay. I apologize. Is that what you want?
Yeah, that's what I want.
All right, let's stop with the arguing. Does anyone have something constructive to say?
Well, something's been bothering me a little. You know, with this stab wound and how it was made, you know, the downward angle of it.
No, we're not going to go through that again. They went over it in court.
Yeah, I know, I heard it in court, but I didn't buy it at that time, too. Now, look, the boy is 5 feet 8 inches tall, right? And the father is 6 feet 2 inches tall. And that's a difference of 6 inches. It is really awkward for you to be able to stab down into someone who's half a foot taller than you are.
Look, you're not going to be satisfied till you see it again. So I'm going to give you a demonstration. Come on, somebody get up. Okay. All right. Now I want you to pay attention. I don't want to have to do this again. This is about 6 inches?
Yeah, that's easily 6 inches.
Okay. Where's this goddamn thing where? There we go. Okay.
Oh, wait.
All right.
That's not funny.
What's the matter with you?
Oh, everybody relax. Nobody got hurt, did they?
No, nobody's hurt.
All right. There's Greg. Look, take a look at it. Down in it. That's how I'd stab a taller man in the chest. And that's how it was done. Take a look at it and tell me I'm wrong.
Down and in, I guess there's no argument.
Have you ever stabbed a man?
Of course not.
Did you?
Oh, let's not be silly.
Did you?
No, I didn't.
Well, then where do you get all your information about how it's done?
What do you mean? It's just common sense.
Well, have you ever seen a man stabbed?
No.
All right, well, let me ask you this. The boy was an experienced knife fighter. He was sent to reform school for knifing someone, right?
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So watch, right? Yeah, I mean, doesn't that seem like kind of an awkward way to handle a knife?
What are you asking me for?
Right? I mean,
Wait a minute. What's the matter with me? Give me that knife.
oh, do you, have you seen a knife fight?
Yes, I have. Oh.
On the movies or what?
In my backyard, on my stoop, in the vacant lot across the street, too many of them.
Okay. Well,
Switchblades just came with the neighborhood where I live. And it's funny that I didn't think of it before, but there are some things you try to forget. And anyone who's ever used a switchblade knows that you would never stab downward. You just don't handle a switchblade that way. You use it underhanded.
So the boy couldn't have made the kind of wound that killed the father.
I suppose it's conceivable he could have made the wound, but it's not likely. Not if he had any experience with switchblade, and we know this kid had a lot of experience with switchblades.
I don't believe it.
I don't either. This is a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo.
What do you think?
Honestly, well, now I don't know.
What about you?
Listen, I'll tell y'all something. I am getting a little sick of this whole thing already. We're getting nowhere fast. Let's just break it up and go home.
Before we decide anything else, I just want to try to pull this all together.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Okay, let us finish it.
I told you guys I'm in advertising. I'm used to the big shots pulling things together. Let's let her chip up a few shots. See if any of them land on the green.
All right, I want you to go through this logically and consistently.
We have guilty.
I want to know, is the kid smart or is he dumb?
What do you mean?
Okay, this is a kid who was sent to reform school for knife fighting, right? The night of the murder, he bought a knife, a switch knife. It would then take a very dumb person to go and kill a man, right? His own father, with an instrument that everybody would associate with him.
I quite agree. He's dumb.
But if he were dumb, then why would he make the kind of wound that only an inexperienced man would make with a knife?
Well, I'm not sure I understand.
To murder someone must take great emotion, great hatred. And in that moment, a man would handle a knife the best way that he knew how. A trained knife fighter would handle a knife the way he'd been trained, right? Underhand. Right? And an inexperienced man would go overhand. Right? But the kid is being very smart. He's smart enough to make the kind of wound that only an amateur would make. Right? Mm-hmm. And at the same time, he's smart enough to wipe off the fingerprints and perhaps even smart enough to wait until an L train is going by to cover the noise. Now, is this kid smart or is he dumb?
Wait a minute.
You know, the old woman across the L tracks, she saw the murder through the L train, so somebody on that train could have seen the murder too.
It's a possibility. There's no one that we know.
Oh, you'd have to be a very dumb man. Fancy that. To do the murder just as the train's going by?
Exactly. A very dumb man. A very stupid man. A man swept away by emotions. Probably he heard nothing. He probably didn't even hear the train approaching. And whoever did kill the father did it the best way he knew how. So, look, the kid is dumb enough to do everything to associate himself with this knife. A switch knife, murder. But then just a moment later, he becomes smart. He's smart enough to make the kind of wound that would lead us to suspect someone else. But at the same time, he's dumb enough to do the killing while an L train is going by, and then just a moment later, he becomes smart again. Smart enough to wipe off the fingerprints. To make this kid guilty, you have to say that he's dumb from 8 o'clock to about midnight. And then at midnight, he becomes smart again for a moment. And then a moment later, he becomes dumb again. And then another moment after that, he becomes smart for a minute. And then he becomes stupid again. So stupid, he can't even come up with a good alibi.
Right.
So tell me, is the kid smart or is he dumb? To make this kid guilty, you have got to flip his intelligence like a pancake. There is doubt, doubt, doubt.
Never thought of that. Well, does the old man lie half the time and then tell the truth the other half of the time?
To make this kid guilty, you have got to say he's dumb and then smart and then dumb and then smart and so on. And also to make this kid guilty, you have got to say that the old man downstairs lies half the time and tells the truth the other half of the time. You can reasonably doubt.
No.
I am sold on reasonable doubt.
I think I am too.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I wanted more talking, now I've had it.
I want another vote.
Okay, there's been another vote called for. I think the quickest way is to show of hands. Is
Yes.
that agree? Okay, all those voting not guilty, raise your hands.
Oh, Jesus.
9. All right, that's 9 not guilty. All those for guilty? 3. The vote is 9-3 in favor of acquittal.
I don't understand you people. How can you believe this kid is innocent? You know how those people lie. I don't have to tell you that. They don't know what the truth is. And you know what? They don't need a good reason to kill each other either. They get drunk and bang, somebody's lying in the gutter. You know what though? Nobody's blaming them. It's just the way they are. You know what I mean. They're violent. Human life don't mean the same to them as it does to us. Hey, where are you going? They drink and they fight. If they kill each other, then they kill each other. They don't care. You know what though? There's some good things about them. I'd be the first to say that. I've known a few decent ones in my life. But that's the exception. Most of them, it's like they have no feelings. They can do anything. Hey, where are you going? I'm saying my piece here. You listen to me. They're no good. None of them are any good. We have to stick together. Listen to me. This kid on trial? Come on, you know these people. What are you doing? Listen to me. I'm trying to tell you something.
I've had enough. If you open your mouth one more time, I'm going to shut it for you.
Just trying to tell you.
right, everyone can sit down. I still think this boy is guilty, and I'm going to tell you why. It seems to me that the most damning piece of testimony is from the woman across the street who claims she actually saw the murder committed.
That's right. That's, as far as I'm concerned, that's the most important testimony.
All right, so let's go over her testimony. What exactly did she say?
Okay, I think I can reconstruct it pretty accurately. She went to bed about 11 o'clock, and her bed is right by the window, so while she's lying in bed, she can turn her head and look out the window and see into the window of the apartment across the street. She tossed and turned for about an hour, unable to fall asleep, and finally, at around 12:10, she turned, looked out the window, and saw the boy stab his father in the chest. Now, this seems to be the most unshakable testimony.
That's what I mean. That's the whole case.
I don't frankly see how you can vote for acquittal in light of this. The woman saw it. She saw it. What do you think?
Well, still maybe. There's still so much evidence to shift.
What do you mean, maybe? She's absolutely right. You could throw out all the other evidence.
That was my feeling. I mean, in light, this woman, she saw it. I mean, what can you say about this woman? She saw it.
What time is it?
About 10 minutes of 6.
Oh my gosh, do you think we can finish this tonight and come back tomorrow? I've got a kid at home that's sick. Not a chance.
You can't see the clock without your glasses?
No, not too clearly.
Glasses are a nuisance, aren't they?
Well, what do you do when you wake up in the middle of the night and you want to know what time it is?
Well, I pick up my glasses and I look at the clock.
I just lie in bed and wait for the clock to chime. It was a wedding gift from my parents. 10 years before we had anywhere to put it.
Do you wear your glasses to bed?
Of course not. Who wears glasses to bed?
Well, the woman who testified that she saw the killing, she wears glasses. What about her?
Did she wear glasses?
Of course. The woman wore bifocals. They were, I remember this very clearly. They looked quite strong.
Yes, they were bifocals, and she never took them off.
I mean, I never thought of that.
It seems logical to say that she wouldn't have been wearing her glasses in bed, and she wouldn't have put them on just to casually glance out the window.
Right.
She testified that she saw the killing the instant she looked out the window, and that the lights went out just a moment later, so it's reasonable that she wouldn't have had time to put her glasses on then. I mean, she might honestly believe that she saw the boy, but I say she only saw a blur.
How do you know what she saw? Maybe she's farsighted. How does she know all these
Is there
things?
anyone here who still doesn't believe that there is a reasonable doubt?
I've always wondered, but there is reasonable doubt.
Oh, I think he's guilty.
Anyone else?
No, I'm convinced there is a reasonable doubt.
Oh my God, that's what.
You're alone.
That's 11 votes not guilty, 1 guilty.
I don't care if I'm alone. I've got a right.
Yep, you do. You have a right.
Well, I think he's guilty. That's all there is to it. What do you want?
Your arguments.
I gave you my arguments.
Well, we're not convinced. We're waiting to hear them again. We have time.
Listen, what's the matter with you? You're the smart one, you're the one with all the arguments. You can't ditch me now. Guilty man is going to be walking the streets. A murderer. He's got to die. Stay with me.
I'm sorry, I'm convinced. Now, I don't think I'm wrong very often, but I guess I was this time. No, I am convinced there is a reasonable doubt.
You're not going to intimidate me. I'm entitled to my opinion. It's going to be a hung jury. That's it.
And there's nothing we can do about that, except hope that some night, maybe in a few months, you might get some sleep. You are all alone.
It takes great courage to stand all alone.
If it is a hung jury, there'll be another trial. And some of us will bring up these various facts to the lawyers.
All right!
They're waiting. Not guilty.
Not guilty.
That's your cue, brother. Well, let's